podcast where art and wellness fly. Hi, and welcome back to the Healthy Metal Hippie. Today we are here with my friend Stone, who is with the Swedish glam rock band, the Trench Dogs. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. We kind of put this together last minute, and I'm so happy that we could get the time all scheduled out and we could connect. So we recently met in person when you guys sold out the Hope and Anchor. You had a totally packed night that night, and it was nice that we finally got some face-to-face time. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the history, how you joined the Trench Dogs?
I joined about 2 years ago, a bit over 2 years ago. I got a Instagram message from Andy, the singer, telling me they were looking for a guitar player. I knew about Trench Dogs, but then I listened to their latest album, Stockholm Jalla. And then I was really like, okay, I really like the music. This is really something I want to be a part of. So I put in the work, I went to audition, and I got the gig, and we've been together ever since.
That makes me really happy because it's nice when those musical endeavors work out and you kind of find your people, and it makes it a really easy working relationship. I think I love the sound of you guys so much because it kind of takes you back to that great kind of, I guess, 80s glam rock and all that stuff. And I think how you present yourself, it's kind of the epitome of what rock and roll is, or it could be. It's real, it's raw, it's natural, and it's just so freaking cool. So you're originally from France, and when did you move to Sweden? What made you move and everything else?
I moved about 10 years ago. And when I was living back in France, I was really into the Swedish sleaze scene, I guess you could say. A lot of Swedish bands. With my friends, we would listen a lot to this kind of music, and then I went to Sweden Rock. Actually, I guess we'll talk about him, but because of Ryan Roxie.
Yeah.
And Anna, my now girlfriend, worked with him at the time, so I met her there. We got together, and then I moved. So it's I had an interest in Sweden, I wanted to go there and everything, but then it was Anna really that was the reason I really moved there.
Oh, I love that. No, but it's sweet though. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people underestimate how cool of a music scene Sweden has. There's so much good stuff coming out of there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a lot of bands, and all of them are pretty damn good, I would say. The level of musicianship here is just crazy.
How is it different from when you were in France? And were you working kind of as a musician while you were in France as well?
No. I mean, I had bands and everything, but it's not really the same. I think Sweden has a much better access to music, music education and rehearsal room and everything. So that makes it easier, I would say. Then as far as rock goes, I think rock is much more accepted culturally than in France, especially everything hard rock. And then I think also the winters here, they're really rough. There is nothing to do in the winter. So I like to think that a lot of bands are that good because it's just there's nothing else to do than play music. So yeah.
I kind of love it though.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
You can't go outside. You may as well just make rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly. Just lock yourself in with your bandmates and write music.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't think of a much better way to spend a winter.
Yeah, it's just trying to make it go as fast as you can. And then in the summer, you can go out and gig, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, there's amazing festivals in Sweden and everything like that too, right? So,
yeah.
So if it's not so accepted in France, what kind of is the music that the French gravitate towards?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of, I think rap is much bigger, all that rap, pop kind of thing. Very mainstream music, I would say. But rock has always been, I mean, when I was living back there, a lot of Swedish bands would come over, Scandinavian bands overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we would see a lot of them, but nowadays I think it's really hard to get gigs there. I
Yeah,
think
because
it,
I didn't realize that.
yeah, I think it's getting better a little bit with like festivals like Hellfest and everything help
Yeah.
like make this kind of music a bit more popular. And now we had like Gojira at the Olympic Games,
Hmm.
which
And
I think was,
that was really helpful.
yeah, that was a hell of a performance too. I think it's like slowly gets there where it's a bit more accepted and more popular, like to regular people, we'll call them.
Yeah.
but but I mean, you don't get much rock on radio and things like that, which you do in Sweden.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I always think like I have family in Germany, and whenever I go to Germany and like rent a car, they have some of the best rock radio stations ever.
Yeah.
And like Germany, obviously cool rock, metal bands and everything like that too. So in a way, it kind of surprises me that like France being so close, that they are not as loving of the rock. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is like the big bands that have no issue like selling there and gigging there, but I think for like a up and coming band, it's pretty rough.
and when you guys tour, you are touring more around like the UK, other bits of Europe.
Yeah, with Strange Dogs, I would say UK is our biggest market for sure.
Okay. And what made the UK like your big place to be?
I don't know. I think maybe the bands that originates from there were big there. Like a lot of, I mean, I know Rocks, they're Scandinavian, but I think it was also one of their prime markets with the UK. And then you have like Dogs D'Amour, Rolling Stones, all those kind of like classic rock bands, I would say. That probably makes it easier to tour there.
Yeah, and obviously there's just too many amazing British rock bands to
Yeah.
name.
Well, you
So
were talking about Hope and Anchors. You can just like look at everyone that has played there and it's like, okay, that makes sense.
I know if you're like, wow, okay, yeah, if they can play there, I okay, it's an honor to play there because it is so legendary how many people have played there. That's one thing I love about London too. I mean, obviously, because I live here, I'm most familiar with London, but you think about if you look at, there's so many of the venues that you look back in history who's played there and you're kind of just like, actually, I'm in the place where everything sort of exploded from,
Mhm.
even the 50s, but let's just say, especially the 60s and beyond. And you think of the people that have walked through the doors and played on the stages. It can be quite humbling to go into at times too.
Yeah, I think so. I used to love just going to like Denmark Street
Yes.
because it's just like everyone has been there, you know. It's so many classic records have been recorded there, and yeah, I don't know. It's just way too iconic. It feels like this is where everything started.
Oh, absolutely. I've been reading a lot of music biographies lately. I mean, that's kind of like my favorite thing to read anyway. And so listening to these kind of like London bands, I mean, doing Keith Richards and then had Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols. There's tons that I've read, but they're all talking about like walking down this street in Soho. And I'm like, I walked down that street yesterday. It's even
Yeah,
simple stuff like that. Or you're like, yeah, we played this show here and then we went over here and recorded. And I'm like, cool. That's like a block from where I am right now.
yeah,
And just knowing that yeah, there's just so much history in music that you can just easily access and walk through if that's your
for
thing, I
sure,
guess. But
for sure.
it's
But I think it probably helps, like coming back to why we are more popular in the UK. It's like the UK is such a rock and roll country. Yeah, all the good stuff comes from there.
It's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? And even new rock bands, there's
Hmm.
so much good stuff coming out of the UK as well, where
Oh
there's
yeah.
still an original sound. It still sounds fresh. There's just lots of magic being added to the world. And it's nice because I know everybody says like rock and roll is dead, but I don't
Hmm.
really think so.
It has changed for sure, but it's not
Yes.
dead. I think it's doing pretty well actually.
Yeah, and I think especially over the past few years too, it is making a resurgence with the younger kids and all
Mhm.
that, you know. It's nice to see. And I mean, like it or not, some of that you have to thank TikTok for, because I'm shocked how many things even like my son knows just from being online, and they're becoming like diehard fans of all this old music, and you're like, cool. Now that influence can continue, you know, rolling the ball forward, and they can take it in their own path, but they see that appreciation of it too.
Yeah, for sure, and I think it also helps. Even the older band, like we were talking about this, we played Denmark this weekend with Pentagram.
Right?
And Bobby, the singer, became viral last year because of some staring he was doing on stage. And now they're huge, and he's been struggling his entire life. It feels like to break through. And now, I mean, even for myself, now I checked Pentagram, and I was really happy to see them, and like knew some songs because of that. So I think social medias can definitely help spreading the word.
Yeah. No, I think so too. And I mean, of course it has its downfalls, just like
Oh yeah.
everything. But I think we are so lucky to be living at a time that music is so accessible too. You know, it doesn't have to be for the elite or whatever, right? I just think it's really cool. You can now discover bands from all over the world with ease, and it's there's yeah, I mean there's a whole different kettle of fish not to not to open today, but I love that aspect of it, and I try and look at it from that way versus like from a shitty cynical way, because I'm trying to find that opportunity in all of it, right? And so yeah, having a viral moment like that totally changes things.
Yeah, and so to say, you have access to so much music, like you can discover things easily. I mean, not that I was gonna say back in the day, but like even when I was growing up, it was harder to find access to this kind of music and bands and everything.
I mean, I think too, okay, well, on the day we're recording this, next week will be my 38th birthday. So I think I was still kind of teenage before people really had tons of internet, and it was totally different. Yeah. YouTube did not exist until I was, I don't know, already in my 20s, I think, or something around there. I think for me, I would discover by reading magazines. And we had this local CD shop, and they sold like used CDs. And sometimes I would just buy things I didn't know what they were. Like, yeah, that looks cool. Because otherwise, would you really do? And sometimes, you know, yeah, your friend would be like, hey, check this out. But a lot of it was just reading and just buying random shit.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I do miss the days where with your friends you would make each other like compilations on CD and just like pass them. That was
yes.
that was nice.
You know, but people are kind of now making mixed playlists for people like on Spotify and things. And I think that's pretty cute too. But yeah, nothing beats a mixed tape, nothing, or mixed CD being like, I made this for you.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is that you maybe appreciated music more as like a valuable thing.
Yes, that's the other thing that I agree with completely is people, they totally take it for granted now, and yeah, lacks that appreciation of everything that goes into it, and not just the time, but obviously the money that goes into it, and everything else. And I think it's really easy for people to go, oh, well, I hate this band, or that's trash. And it's like, you go out and do it. Start with that. And then you know, have a little more respect for, even if you don't like it, you still have to respect the people doing it.
If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
Shocker.
Shocker. Yeah, no.
I know.
I'm quite glad we're quite like a physical format band. It feels like a lot of people following us are like buying vinyls, buying CDs, and listening to our music that way. Or at least that's the impression I get. But it's really nice.
It is. And because people want to have that physical piece of it, right? Yeah. I love seeing, because, you know, I work at that record shop
Yes.
part time too. And I love seeing people coming in and buying all kinds of, like, coming in with stacks of CDs. And it feels good, because when you kind of keep being told this narrative that nobody buys physical product anymore, they're just kind of increasing, going back up again and again. And it's so nice to see. And yeah, especially when you're on your growth pattern right now, that, yeah, you want everybody buying your records, right? Coming to the show.
It feels more appreciated as far as like making music when someone buys something physical, I think.
Yeah, and I think as a listener, as a fan, you feel more part of it too, versus just streaming it, right? So you do a lot of other work as well as being with the Trench Dogs, and so you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I do mostly graphic design, like in the music industry. So I do a lot of that, and then I do a lot of backline as well these days, like guitar taking and stuff like that.
Which is very cool. I've seen you do the guitar pick designs and shirts and posters. Do you do album art and things like that as well?
Yeah, but no, I've been doing this for 5 years, and now I'm starting to like narrow down to what I really like to do, and I try to focus on taking those gigs. Because like 5 years ago, I would have taken anything to try to get some experience and get better at it, but now I'm just a bit more selective over what I like to do.
I think it's important that you have those boundaries of what you doing the things that you actually want to do and makes you happy, sits right with you.
Yeah, I think it's like finding yourself too creatively.
Yeah. Has that been a process for you, finding yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, because I ended up burning myself out like pretty bad with saying yes to everything just to. I think you get kind of an adrenaline rush at the beginning of like, oh, I want to work with these people, and it's like, this is cool. Like, it involves sometimes like a lot of your heroes perhaps from when you were a teenager. But no, it's also like, I understand that my time has value, and I really would rather take projects that are fun and where I feel like I can actually be happy with the results, rather than try something and then halfway through I'm realizing like, okay, I don't feel like this is landing really right.
I completely understand that. What are some of the favorite projects that you've completed lately?
Lately, I mean, picks are always fun, especially with the Alice Cooper guys, because I mean, I grew up listening to their music and playing to their live records in my room, so there's always that little like, okay, this is cool. Then merch design has been pretty good, I think. We've done like quite a lot of shirt with Nita Strauss, which was really interesting because it's not really like what I would listen to on a like daily basis, her solo stuff. So it's been so fun to try to get her like visual identity. I like listening to the artist while I work, so it's been kind of fun just playing her albums in the back while trying to figure it out, and then you get like in the flow. So I would say the Nita stuff has been really, really fun. And then we did a video with Roxie now that came out a couple of months ago.
Yes, I love that video.
Thanks. That one is fun. And it's been so fun seeing like the enthusiasm of people around it.
Yeah, and it's really taking off as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it just reached like 80K or something views.
Yeah,
really cool.
on YouTube, right? Oh, we got to put a link to it in the show
Better
notes.
than you.
Better than you.
Yeah.
And it's such a killer song, and it's such like it's perfect Roxy style, and I love it.
I had a lot of fun making that one.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so would you be looking to do more videos? And
Yeah, we might be doing another one.
oh, okay.
But it's so yeah, that one's a bit fun. But then there's also projects which is kind of weird creatively, where you don't think much about it, and then it kind of gets a lot of love and you start appreciating it. I did this artwork for a band called The Gems a couple of months ago, and
Yes,
I was like, okay,
I know The
cool.
Gems.
Yeah. But now it's been like pretty popular as like a t-shirt and stuff, so I've had like a different outlook of it, kind of.
Okay, I love that. I think I know what shirt it is too.
Yeah, it's like a butterfly kind of thing.
Yeah. And that one sold out, didn't it? I didn't get one.
I'm not sure it's sold out, but from what I heard, it sells pretty well. So it's it's one of those projects where I didn't think much of it, and then a lot of people have commented about design, and I was like, okay, it's cool. I see it like in a different light.
I think sometimes you do get stuck in those moments where you're like, well, did this add value? Was this really good? Is it just kind of whatever? And then people come back to you and go, oh, this was incredible. I love what you did with this. And you're like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it
It's
feels
funny how
nice.
some things are insignificant for us, but then make the world of difference to others.
Yeah, and it goes the other way too. Like, I mean, I've done videos that I absolutely love that have 400 views and no one cares, and I'm just like, okay, I love it.
Yeah. And I think that's it. You have to just
Hmm.
take the love with it and also be proud of the things that you're doing because again, nobody else is doing them exactly the way that you are. And that's what makes them special.
I don't know. I guess it's different to everyone, but for me, it's like leaving a little piece of yourself every time you like put something out. So it's been nice getting some feedback on that stuff, like seeing that it gets some love.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I think on other episodes I've said it, but I'm always surprised. Like I get messages from people. I've said I'm not the biggest podcast by any stretch of the imagination, but when I get messages from people saying how much something meant to them or whatever it may be, or that they thought something was really cool, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is exactly why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And people do, even when we feel like nobody takes notice, people do take notice of
Yeah.
the things that we do, whether they're big or little.
So,
It's kind of nice.
I mean, I think that's the beauty of art.
I absolutely agree with that.
Even coming back to music, like, I mean, with Strange Looks, I wasn't on the 2 albums that came out now. But talking about Hope and Anchor, with this girl traveling from Spain that knew like every word to every single song, and you're just like it kind of blows your mind, because it's like so much work goes into these, and I mean, being in a band, it's not always easy. So it's like when you see that, it just makes everything worth it.
And having somebody show up just totally immersed. And I think that's the other thing, like flying for shows, I think is so cool. And I see more and more people doing that they travel from all over the world for shows, and big or small. And it's kind of like, it makes your heart happy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was the first time I met Ryan and Tommy and everybody. I flew to Norway from Canada for their show with Aerosmith.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I told you, and it was fate that I showed up that day.
It's funny because the show I was mentioning about why I moved to Sweden is the show after that one.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they did Norway and then Sweden or something.
I think that's right. Yeah, I do. I think that's right.
But you get to see Aerosmith, so that's pretty cool.
I did. Yeah. I love my Aerosmith. Yeah. And so you met Ryan when you moved to Sweden then?
No,
or you met him at that show, or?
No, I hadn't met him before. But then he had this kind of, he had like a competition to like play with him or something. So I got like free tickets to go play with him at Sweden Rock. But I was like, it was such a like, I'm glad I moved here and I'm still with Anna, because that trip was an absolute shit show on my side.
Oh.
Because, I was like living in France. I was like, Sweden in June, it's fine. I'll go in a t-shirt. But I didn't know that Sweden was like 5 degrees at night. And I didn't have a hotel or a tent or anything. So it's just like on a bench with my backpack.
Oh.
So it's, I'm glad we're still together and I'm living here now, because it makes that night worth it.
That's so sweet, though. Oh my gosh. Was there a much kind of culture shock when you moved over to Sweden overall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, I still miss France quite a lot.
Yeah.
But then I'll go back to France, and within like an hour, I'll be like, man, this is why I moved out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, okay. I definitely understand that. Like, I always say to people when I miss my mom and I miss my sister and I miss my friends in Canada. But yeah, I'm so much happier here. I've only been back once to Canada since I left. And yeah, I love living in the UK. I am. Yeah, I don't miss it.
It must be quite a cultural shock too, right?
I think yes and no. I think, you know what? I think Canadians are fairly similar-ish to Brits. But one thing is I love British people are just more upfront. They're more honest. They seem more bold to me overall, which I really appreciate. And I think that's something that I've needed to surround myself with so that I can step into all the things that I want to do. It's been very helpful for me. I like that, yeah, people are just straight up and honest. I like that people seem more free, more liberal, more accepting overall. And I really love that.
The UK
Yeah.
is very friendly. Like people
Yeah.
there.
And that people always say, like, don't talk to Londoners. And I don't think that's really true because Londoners want to help. They love people, you know, don't make a fuss on the tube. And that's fair because that's just annoying and bad manners. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
But I think it's,
people here are amazing.
yeah. And I think the London thing is probably like a capital thing, because they say the same about Paris and about Stockholm. I think it's just you need to cheat a bit on the people that live in the capital, but usually they're just super nice.
That's what I think too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't speak French at all, even though, yes, I grew up in Canada. I took one semester of French, you know, and people always say, oh, when you go to Paris, they're so mean to anybody who speaks English. And I'm like, no,
I
they
don't
were
think that's true.
so nice to me all the times that I've been there.
I don't know.
I
It's
think you're right.
the stereotype about French people being rude in general, and I just don't think that's true. We're an obnoxious country for sure, but the people are nice there.
Yes, they are. You know what? Of all the French people I've met, I like all of them. Haven't
You've
seen
met the
anything.
like 6 nice people in France.
6 nice people in
Yeah.
France. Yeah. It's true. We were talking a little bit about your style before. It made me really happy because you are full rock star mode right now. And it also made me really happy that you told me you just dress full rock star every day. And it's a little bit about finding, as you said, finding who you are and what works for you. How'd you develop your style and what does it mean for you?
I think it means a lot. And I think I can speak to on the behalf of everyone in Trench Dogs with that, because it's like, and I mean, this is what I love about that band, because this is just who we are. Like, you know, it's like, I don't think Andy owns tracksuit.
Right.
But I mean, as far as like discovering it, I don't know. I think it evolved with my taste in music quite a lot, and especially as I got into like the Aerosmith kind of thing, where the style is a very big part as well. I just like had the thing of like I want to look like that, and then you just try things, I guess, and see what works for you. And I don't know. I just feel better wearing makeup and platform boots than sneakers and nothing. Like it's,
I feel better that way too. Let's be real.
yeah, it's a like huge part of my identity for sure. And to be fair, I'm the one getting shit in Trench Dogs because I will wear like Nikes, which is the threshold, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I've always been like really attracted to like the musicians and rock star that had a bit of that like androgynous thing, like the Steven Tylers, and I mean like even Alice Cooper and stuff like these.
Yeah, like David Bowie and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Michael
Also,
Monroe, obviously.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know when this the last time I've shopped in the men's department. It's probably been decades, but it's cool. I love it. It makes it fun too. It makes life
Yeah,
a bit funnier.
absolutely. And you always look amazing. So nobody can complain about that, right?
It's like second nature. Like, I mean, I don't really own anything else than that kind of stuff and tight pants. So
That's the way to be,
just,
though.
yeah, it's grown to the way it is. I mean, like even with Anna, it's just like we share clothes. There's not really like a line of who owns what.
Yeah, it's perfect, though. It makes
Yeah,
things more simple, too.
I think so.
Yeah,
And I don't know, dressing up
absolutely.
is fun.
It is. So sometimes when I am just like full on doing whatever work mode at home, and if I'm running errands in between everything, yeah, I like to live in my band shirts and my
Yeah, yeah.
Lululemon
Of
tights
course.
and all that. But in general, I like dressing up. I like wearing dresses. I like putting together fun things. It always has to be platforms for me too. My sister, I just have to say, she just got me this pair of silver Doc Martens.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
my
saw them.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, you saw them? They're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so cool.
It's really cool.
I'm like, these are amazing. Over the past few years, I've really found what I am enjoying leaning into for myself is like really simple items, like a plain black dress, leather tights, leather trousers, black tops, and whatever it may be,
Yeah,
because I've really tried to add lots of color to my wardrobe. And I just go back to black. I like wearing my black. But that said, then I add in like silver shoes, or I add some outrageous, huge, chunky jewelry. And I've got like big rings and stuff like that that I always wear. Obviously, my hair, well, not right now, but it's usually purple and black. Bright jackets sometimes. I have a cool, like, purple velvet jacket that I love. Things like that. But I'm really just loving, like, simple, kind of classic, but cool cuts,
yeah.
look really sleek, and then add a little pop of magic. And I've kind of felt like when I'm letting myself dress that way, I feel more confident. I feel happier. I feel like, yeah, I mean, no matter what, you feel good when you dress up. You're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh,
But I guess like self care a little bit.
it is. It is. It doesn't matter what your style is, but if you put a little bit of pride into how you present yourself, it makes the whole difference in your life,
Yeah, for sure.
and how you feel, how people see you, and everything else.
I mean, you talked about confidence, and I think that's a big part of it, to be honest. And like, there's a little bit like of being extravagant, a little bit, like daring things that most people wouldn't dare. And I like that.
Like, I mean, yeah, your clothes are daring in a way, but I'm sure people are always like, "Oh my God, you look amazing." For me, it's kind of funny because people always tell me how they think I'm so stylish, and I'm like, "Cool." I don't really see myself that way, but I know that what I wear what makes me feel happy, and that's
That's the
the
most
hardest
important
part,
thing. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And not putting yourself with like rules about what's allowed to be worn and what's not.
Yeah.
That's a big one too. Do you think just as you get older too, you kind of just give less fucks, and you're just, the more you get into who
Oh, for
you
sure.
are, the more
Yeah,
comfortable
for
you
sure.
are, you know?
But I wear a lot of like platforms and high heels and stuff. And at the beginning, I was a bit like, okay, like I'm not sure about these. But now it's just like, apart from the Nikes, I don't have any other shoes really. My platforms are just like, I don't know. I consider them kind of my flat shoes, to be honest.
Yeah, because
Uh,
they are.
yeah.
I need them because I'm really short. But I also like, I don't really, unless they're like chunky heels, I don't really love heels. I just want to be the queen of platforms all the
Yeah.
time. There's something about them.
They,
They add something. There's something magical about platforms.
yeah, they look cool. It's just actually like I spent so much time. I was like years ago that I saw Oriente with those kind of platforms.
Yeah.
Like a specific kind she had, and I just thought they were like the coolest shoes ever. So now I've found something similar, and it's just like, they're my favorite shoes. I actually bought several pairs when I got them because I was so scared they were gonna get discontinued.
I've definitely had shoes like that too, where you have to have multiples or
Yeah,
else.
absolutely. Like the only thing is when I guitar tech and stuff, I can't wear that kind of shoes. It's just not working.
I mean, that makes sense. There are times, okay, when I'm going for a run with my dog. No, I can't wear platforms,
Oh, you
sadly.
don't run in platforms?
Not usually, no.
Okay.
Then I put on my Nikes, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
But yeah, sometimes you have to like let functionality come into it. Yeah, otherwise you just like you have to just do what feels right for you and let it flow.
Yeah. This just feels nice to be like a bit sassy sometimes.
Do you think it's changed how you act? I know that sounds weird, but if you were like just say you were wearing something that just didn't totally reflect you, do you think you would be kind of presenting yourself more closed in, or
Yeah, I think the
versus?
confidence part for sure. I mean, it's as we talked before. Like, I'm not the biggest talker. I'm more like, I would say, the introvert kind. But it's just like when you're sassy, you still feel good about yourself and feel confident going out and things like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think it goes back to when I was a teenager. Like, even though I was not dressing like that, I really liked my band shirts and wearing black and things like that. And I mean, I've had like, family members giving me like pieces of clothing that I've never worn in my entire life because I was like, I will never wear that because it's not me.
And that's hard sometimes too. You're like, just listen to what I love,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I know. I've had that too with family members, not so much recently, but like when I was
Well, when
younger.
you're younger, I guess.
Yeah. And they'd be like, I've got you pegged. And I'm like, actually, you haven't, but okay.
Yeah,
You appreciate the gesture, but it's hard if it just doesn't sit right with you,
yeah,
you
yeah. It
know?
doesn't feel like it's you.
We talked a little bit again before we started about sobriety. So you used to drink, and when did you give that up?
And 10 years ago,
Okay. So was it kind of in line of when you moved?
it was right before, which is kind of interesting with Anna because the first time I met her, I was completely fucked up, but the second time I was sober, which feels like two different persons to me a little bit.
So if I can ask, what prompted you to make the change?
I mean, I had no control over it. It like ruined everything. And I mean, I'm not like an addictolog, so I'm not like an expert in the subject, but it's like I was not like yellow going having to go to AA or something, but I would say I had like a massive drinking problem in terms of
Okay.
that if I started, I couldn't stop until I blacked out. And
Okay.
basically the last 6 months, I would say, before I got sober, I can't remember a single party. I mean, I can remember like getting there and stuff, but I don't know how it ended. So it got out of hand quite a lot. And then I wanted to be a sound engineer. So I was touring with this band I used to really, really like. Like it was like a gig that I really enjoyed because it was music I liked and I got to learn. But the drinking screwed that up quite a lot, like the partying. So they fired me, and rightfully so, to be honest. Like it's fine. I don't care. Like I was 20. Yeah, I was fired from that, and that's basically the last time I drank was that show. And to be honest, like it's kind of been hard the last 10 years, but I've never like regretted my choice or anything.
And so was it kind of getting fired? You realized like, oh shit, maybe I
Well, I
need
mean,
to.
it got to a point where it wasn't fun anymore. Like because it's sometimes I envy those kind of people that just can go out, have a few drinks, get tipsy, getting like in the fun zone. But I know I can't do that. And again, it's not like I know alcoholism is a big word, but to me it was more I couldn't handle it. So I think I'm better off, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever think too, like, oh, if I continue, then it would hurt my future prospects of working with different artists and all that kind of stuff? Did that play any part of it either?
Not really in the artist part, but
Right.
in kind of in my well-being because I mean I've done a lot of stupid stuff when I was drunk, like really stupid stuff. Where when I look back, I'm like I really endangered myself here. So I think if I would have kept going, it would probably have escalated to a point where it was just like uh, I would end up like hurting myself without wanting to. Like I'm not talking about like wittingly hurting yourself, but I think I would have put myself in situations that were dangerous or whatever. Like I mean, nobody does smart things when they're on their way to blacking out. So yeah, I mean, I've never really talked about this, but it's I don't know, it wasn't fun, It's just like you go to a party, you can't remember anything, you're probably like the worst hang ever. And then when it gets in the way of what you actually want to pursue as a career, it's no good.
No, no, it's not. I mean, I have several friends that recognize that they had a problem and have stopped. And yeah, I mean, all of them at the end of the day, kind of very similar to you. It's not easy always, but still no regrets in stopping. I've always kind of been that, like, I have one drink and I'm done, or, a couple. I've never, I have to be honest, I've never blacked out from drinking
That's a good
um,
thing.
or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
I've probably had like two hangovers in my life, and I wasn't even really drunk. I was like, I was kind of dehydrated and I mixed a
Yeah.
couple things and whatever. But yeah, I've had lots of friends go through this similar path to you with alcohol, and I've lost friends to other addictions, and yeah, you think at the end of the day, it's not worth it, right?
No, and I don't know. I was talking about it with a friend the other day because in Sweden you can't buy alcohol in regular grocery store. You have to go to like a liquor store.
Okay, that's same in
That's
Canada too.
okay. And
Yeah.
it's a big debate here. A lot of people are against and things like that. But I have the unpopular opinion. I think it's great to not have access to that because I mean, like back in France, we could just go buy liquor at like 10 p.m. and it's the same. Nothing ever comes out good when you're partying and at 10 p.m. You're like, we need more alcohol. It's not gonna go like a pretty way.
Generally, no.
Yeah.
The thing that I guess that would be one thing that I would say is a bit culture shock here, is how much alcohol is
Mm.
like ingrained in life here. Most of it I'm like generally harmless, but then you also get the people that are very open. They say, yeah, I think we're all a bit of alcoholics here, but we just kind of pretend that we're not. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's
France is the
probably
same.
true.
But I'm very surprised with my generation. A lot of people have told me, like, I mean, when I posted the other day, I was like 10 years sober. And
Yeah.
I had other guitar players and musicians from like bands in our circle that was like, oh, I quit drinking too. Like, I'm on like 3 years or 3 months or whatever. And I think it's good because it shows that there is some kind of awareness to it. And I'm talking for the ones that can't handle it. Like, of course, a lot of people are fine with being able to drink. But yeah, it seems to be less and less of a taboo a little bit.
I completely agree. And I think so many people are shifting for sober lifestyles overall. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Well, you know,
Yeah.
we'll just get rid of the drugs and alcohol and keep the
Yes.
rest of it. And it just seems that, overall people are moving away from it in music. I see that, right? You see artists posting about their workouts, and you
Yeah.
see them posting their healthy green drinks or healthy eating. They're going vegan, they're doing whatever, right? It does break down some of that taboo, like you say. And I think it makes people realize that, like, yeah, being healthy is so punk rock. Like,
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
cool.
I mean, I always looked up to people like Phil Collins from Def Leppard and things like that. So then when I got sober, I was reading a lot and watching a lot of interviews about musicians talking about addiction. I mean, like Phil Collins has been sober since like late 80s and like vegan and everything. And to me, he's just the coolest. I think it's super cool.
And I think there's something special about, massive artists like that talking about their sobriety and, talking about their healthy living,
Mm.
because it does trickle down to followers and to the greater public, right? And I think even we're not mega stars, but when you open that discussion up, no matter where it happens, it plays an impact, right? I know I drink more here in England than I ever drank in Canada, and I've definitely had partners who are alcoholics, and it's given like it gives a lot of different perspective on everything. I think sometimes I do feel a bit sad when I see people coming home in the afternoon on the train, and in their 30-minute journey they've downed 4 beers on the train,
Yeah,
and you're like, how, like, are you okay? You just want to send a little extra love out to people when they're doing
for
that kind of
sure.
thing. It is worrying, right?
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
such a like socially accepted thing. I think that's the
Yeah.
part. But it kind of like talking about it shifting. I think it's also like for me, I feel like I've been spoiled because I grew up, or I mean, I got sober in like an era where it became okay to not drink, especially moving to Sweden. Like France was a bit rougher. But I mean, you have
Yeah.
so much like alcohol-free options everywhere in Sweden. It's really easy here, I feel like.
It's funny, even like with people I work with, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably have my gin and then I'm just going to switch to tonic water after. And they're like, how?
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to drink, it sounds very like, what was it, all those like adverts they used to put out about like, you don't need drugs to have fun. But
Yeah.
like for real though, I have fun with the people I'm with, not because it's alcohol or
No,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it gets to a point where it's bad, it's just like rather deal with the real feelings than trying to like medicate them or something.
That's really, really hard to do for people too.
Yeah, it's the easier way out, I think.
Yeah. And accepting that you have stuff that you need to work on and maybe old wounds that you need to heal. And it's not easy. And you're totally right. It's sometimes it's easier to self medicate than deal with it. But long term, it's easier to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're the anxious kind, like alcohol definitely is easier. Like if you have some kind of anxiety, I think. But I think it's also, I mean, it's rough, but it's kind of nice to have to deal with those kind of feeling and anxiousness and things, and learn how to tackle them.
Did you deal with anxiety and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, I mean, I still do for sure. Especially, I mean, like we talked about design and stuff. Like the creative line of work is not really a stress-free line of work, I would say. Like it's a lot of like working from home and being your own boss is it has a lot of benefits, but also a lot of downsides because you work all the time. You have a lot of deadlines, a lot of running after money and things like that can happen too. So it's not the easiest, I would say.
No, no, it sure isn't. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yep.
But what have you found have been good coping mechanisms for you with anxiety?
I mean, in Sweden, we're kind of spoiled with nature. So going out in nature is good. But I think trying to be in the moment has been the really rough thing for me that I'm still learning. Because it's very easy also in that when you do this creative thing to be like next project, next thing, like you never really, kind of what we talked about looking back at projects, you don't really appreciate them in the moment. So I think a big part for me has been that trying to not stress so much about what's coming, just try to enjoy as it goes and go with the flow. Might sound a bit easy, but it works.
No, no, absolutely. But I mean, that's it. It's simple, but it's not even always the easiest thing to do, right? It sounds like,
No.
oh yeah, just be in the moment. But when you look at it, a lot of us aren't. We're thinking about even what we have to make for dinner tonight and that thing that you have to do first thing tomorrow morning. And,
Yeah.
we've always got so much on our plates. We don't take a lot of time to just be in it doing
Yeah.
what we, yeah, yeah, it's so
I'm the
true.
pro at looking forward to something, being the thing I was looking forward, and thinking about the next thing. So it's
Yeah, yep.
yeah, that's actually something that I really try to do now. Like when we toured the UK, and even now when I'm touring this summer, like more as a tech, just like try to appreciate. And I've had really long car rides where it's actually been nice because all you can do is be in the moment. Like there's nothing to run after.
Yeah, that makes a difference. And sometimes I know, like, even when I'm on the train or whatever, I try and get writing time in on the train, or I do whatever I can. But I think you're really smart just to let all of that go, almost meditate in
Yeah.
those moments.
I
Yeah.
think you become more grateful about what you have to, because it's really easy to look elsewhere and be like, I want that too. I mean, I had that point when I burnt out where I was like, I have everything I wanted as a teenager, like everything. So it's like maybe it's just a matter of appreciating it.
That's so true. What did you do to get through that burnout?
I mean, I'm still struggling a bit with it, but I think working less for sure. That was a big part, but also thinking less. And I mean, it relates to what I just said with being in the moment and appreciating what you have. I think not stressing so much. And I think your surrounding does a lot, like surrounding yourself with supporting good people has been,
Yeah.
it's really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of getting you out of your head too. especially when you're in those moments. I know I agree for myself. I'm still working through burnout. I'm still working through PTSD. I'm still working through all kinds of fun delights.
Yeah.
But and it's a process. I think that's the other thing is sometimes it's a misconception that like, you change jobs so your burnout's clear for or something like that, but it's so not the case.
Yeah.
You can take years to recover from burnout.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know about you, but to me, it's like it took some kind of realization to realize that I was burnt out. It's because I was seeing it as a thing where like you wake up one morning and you're like, okay, now I'm burnt out. I can't move. Like I'm the drain and stuff. But you know, happens over a long period of time.
Yep. And you go, God, why am I not productive? And why am I just so tired? And why
Yeah,
do I feel depressed and everything? And it's like, burnout.
yeah,
And it all
yeah.
sneaks up on you in the worst way.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but I mean there is good things like out of it too. I think it makes you. I mean, related to what we're talking about with like niching yourself with projects, taking the stuff you really want to do, the stuff that's fun. I mean, I now with like being like a guitar tech or whatever, it's just been fun to be a bit more selective with what I do too. I don't know. I'm lucky enough now to have three bands that I can like gig with in different like roles, and it's just nice to be able to choose who you want to like be surrounded with.
I agree. You keep the good people around you and keep them close. I agree completely. I mean, I've been really picky about what bands and things like that I am willing to work with because,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I know what I offer people is not to be treated like shit in return for.
Yeah.
and
I agree.
and so but you have to make the relationships work for you. You have to do the things that you feel passionate about, and you're right, like different projects and things like that. I I produce another podcast, the Writers Gym podcast, and I feel passionate about it because it's it's incredible. The interviews and the writing advice and everything else that comes out of it. I feel like people would really connect with it. And there's so much more than writing. It's just about life. I feel
Mhm.
connected. I love being part of it. But I think as people, we often allow ourselves to keep all of the shit that we don't like. And it's really hard to get out of that space if we're talking about work or relationships or circumstances or whatever it may be. We hold on to all that stuff for some reasons, but then if you can like get that clarity of why this isn't working, let it go, things get a lot easier from there too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just like I think we live, which for me was a big part. Like we live in a stressful society, I think. And again, coming back to it, but it's like yeah, being like having to be creative like 24/7 was just it's not easy, and that's where like picking your battle with what you want to do, I think matters. I realize you only have so much energy to give, and it's just like. I've stopped worrying about having to give to something that I don't feel 100% connected to.
No, I agree. I think you're very, very smart in doing that.
Yeah, hope so.
No, I think you are. And
Time
you know
will
what? I
tell.
think I think that it gives a lot of people hope that you can be picky, you can set your boundaries, and you can, take care of your physical and mental health while doing the things that you love,
Oh,
making something
absolutely.
out of it. You're kind of amazing like that.
I have a good therapist, we'll say.
That's good then.
Yeah.
Where could people find you online if they want to connect with you? What's the best place?
I mean, Instagram works at Glamotionstone. As far as Strange Dogs are official, social media everywhere. We got like a new single out called Cobblestone Walls, so people can check that out on Spotify.
Okay.
And we'll be now we're taking a bit of a break in touring, but we'll be back out next year.
Oh, that's exciting.
We might we might come back to the UK. I'm not sure. I didn't say anything.
Yes. do it.
Actually, one date is out, so yeah, we're coming back to you.
I'm excited. I can't wait. Well, if you could give one piece of advice for somebody getting into the creative world in freelance, what advice would you give?
Never work for free. Do it for the love, not for the money. Which kind of contradicts what I just said, but it's like,
but it doesn't though. It's kind of like knowing your value,
yeah,
and be passionate about it.
yeah, I think so. Or it's like, setting boundaries. Like you can help out people, but just don't overdo it.
Don't give yourself away for free.
No, and also not stressing about everything. Like, we'll work out.
At the end of the day, it all works out, right?
Absolutely. But it's kind of true, though.
Yeah, it is true. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Me.
I have absolutely loved it, and I can't wait till we catch you on the road soon.
Yes, next year we'll be on your island.
Okay, we're ready.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymetalhippie.com.